You ever have one of those moments? You've got this brilliant idea kicking around in your head. It's crystal clear. But then when you go to actually explain it, the words just, I don't know, crumble. It's so frustrating. Now, most of us think the answer is to memorize a perfect script. If we just nail the wording, we'll finally sound as smart as we feel. But what if I told you that memorizing is actually the very thing tripping you up? Yeah, that's what we're digging into today. See, on one side, you have the memorized script. And let's be honest, it puts you in this kind of verbal straitjacket. Your voice goes flat, any natural rhythm you have just dies, and you're not really there anymore. You're so busy trying to recall the next word that you totally forget to connect with the actual human beings in front of you. But on the other side, when you've really truly internalized your ideas, oh man, everything changes. You speak with this natural rhythm and conviction. You sound authentic because, well, you are. Your thinking gets sharper as you're speaking. This isn't about memorizing lines. It's about owning your ideas. And look, this is not some new age life hack. Just think about the greatest communicators we know. Churchill, Martin Luther King Jr., you could even throw Steve Jobs in there. These folks weren't reading off a teleprompter in their heads. Nope. They were powered by absolute clarity and a deep, unshakable conviction in their ideas. They didn't memorize, they internalized. And today, we're going to break down the science-backed system you can use to actually rewire your brain for that exact same kind of fluency. So, why does memorization fail us so spectacularly, especially when we're under a little bit of pressure? Well, the answer is tucked away inside our own brains. There's this hidden mental tax that completely sabotages our ability to think on our feet. And here is the absolute key, the one thing you have to get. Real eloquence, that smooth, confident way of speaking that we all want, it doesn't start with the words. It starts with structured thinking. It's all about how you organize the meaning in your head before you even open your mouth. Neuroscientists actually have a name for this mental traffic jam. It's called a switching cost attack. Think about it. When you're trying to deliver a memorized script, your brain is juggling two incredibly heavy tasks at the same time. One, it's trying to remember specific words in a specific order. And two, it's trying to read the room, connect with your audience, and adapt on the fly. Your prefrontal cortex just gets slammed, and your ability to be present and flexible, it just powers down. Which brings us to this idea right here, and it completely reframes what we're most afraid of as speakers, the pause, right? That silence. We think it makes us look weak, like we've lost our way, but neuroscience tells us the exact opposite is true. That little pause actually activates your brain's default mode network. That's the part responsible for those aha moments and big picture thinking. Silence isn't weakness. It's your brain loading up its best material. Okay, so we've diagnosed the problem. Now for the good stuff. How do we fix it? How do we take all those jumbled, anxious thoughts and turn them into clear, flowing speech? Well, it comes down to a really simple 4-step blueprint. Here are the 4 pillars we're going to build on. Number 1, the structured pause. Number 2 is a big one. Speak in ideas, not sentences. Third, we have retrieval practice. This is like a workout for your brain. And finally, we wrap it all up with what's called embodied presence. Let's dive into each one. So step 1 takes that pause we just talked about, but it makes it active. It's not an empty silence. In that moment, you're grabbing a simple mental structure to instantly organize your thoughts. For example, you could frame what you're about to say as problem, insight, action. Or you could tell a quick story using past, present, future. These are like little roadmaps for your brain, giving your words a clear path to follow so you're not just stumbling around looking for them. Now, step 2. This is a total game changer. Stop trying to find the perfect sentence. Just stop. Truly eloquent people focus on getting the key concepts across. Your job is to take a big, complex thought and break it down into smaller, digestible chunks. Always, always prioritize clarity over trying to sound clever. Because here's the secret. When the ideas are absolutely crystal clear in your mind, fluency just happens. It's a natural side effect. And step 3 is crucial. You have to start treating fluency like a motor skill. More like learning to shoot a basketball than memorizing historical dates. And how do you get better? You struggle. Yep. That uncomfortable feeling when you're searching for a word, that's not failure. That's your brain literally building and strengthening a neural pathway. So record yourself on your phone explaining an idea. The struggle you feel is the workout, and it's making you stronger. And finally, step 4 brings it all home with embodiment. See, your words carry the information, but it's your body that carries the meaning. An open, relaxed posture helps build trust. Changing up your vocal tone keeps people engaged. When your clear thinking lines up with a calm, confident physical presence, people don't just hear your words, they feel your message. And that is charisma. Now, I know that blueprint might sound like a lot, but true mastery never comes from one giant heroic effort. It comes from tiny habits that compound over time. And that's where the 1% rule routine comes in. It's a dead simple way to build this skill just a little bit every single day. It's a simple little formula called 5-2-1-1, and it starts with just 5 minutes. That's it. You take 5 minutes to quietly think about one complex idea. Just organize it in your head using one of those mental structures. Next up, you take 2 minutes to explain that idea out loud. Absolutely no script. You can talk to your dog, your plant, the mirror. Doesn't matter. This is that healthy struggle we talked about. This is your retrieval practice for the day. Then, the first one. You find one opportunity during your day to share that idea with one person. This isn't a big presentation, right? It's just a natural moment in a conversation. It's your low-stakes practice round. And finally, the last one. At the end of the day, you take a moment for one reflection. You just ask yourself, what part of that felt clear and what part felt kind of messy? This is the secret sauce. This self-awareness is what trains your brain to think, not just to perform. And that brings us to what might be the most critical piece of this whole puzzle. Because this isn't just about what you do, it's about who you believe you are. You have to change the story you're telling yourself about your own ability. I mean, just look at this quote. This is the whole mindset shift in a nutshell. You have to stop saying, I'm a bad speaker. That's a label. It's a fixed identity, and it keeps you stuck. From now on, your new identity is this. I am an eloquent speaker in progress. This reframes everything. It's not a trait you either have or you don't. It's a skill you are actively, consciously building, day by day. You just focus on building clarity, and eloquence will show up. So I'll leave you with this challenge. Don't just file this away for later. Put it to work. Right now, what is the one idea, big or small, that you're going to practice articulating today using that 5-2-1-1 routine? Pick one. And remember, don't memorize words. Build clarity.